We've got hunger strikes, aardvarks are missing, we have weddings being ruined, sperms ending up in the mail, people are blowing up on YouTube, we have parties, everything's going on here on Lunatics, episode 7 and 8, and we're going to have it for you on tonight's after show on AfterBuzz TV. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Guys, my mind is literally blown with the amount of stuff that is happening in these 2 episodes. And I have watched this series like many times, which I've told you guys.
Yes.
And I've told you like, you got to kind of stick with this series because I'm a huge fan of Chris Lilley and I've watched all of his other shows. But this one takes a little longer to get into the meat of everything. And now like everything's blowing up all at once. And I just like, my mind is exploding with what's going on. So anyways, with that being said, let's get into it. I'm your host, Jessie Zahner. And with me tonight are my 2 wonderful hosts, Alice.
Hey guys.
And Anais.
Hey, I just need to show you guys
Yes.
the awesome shirt I'm wearing because this is basically explains what it's like to be a Chris Lilley fan in the U.S. And just stuff, and nobody understands it. So,
but you guys understand because you guys are watching Lunatics at home
That's
along with us, and we're so thankful. So tonight we're going to cover episodes 7 and 8. And let's just get going with episode 7 because, again, so much happens in these 2 episodes. So we start with Gavin in this episode. And this is why I love Gavin. I mean, he's going on a hunger strike because he made a green screen on the wall of the mansion, which is not allowed because this is like a historic building. You can't just like paint a green wall. And he's making content and, you know, they're going through everything. They're getting high off literal grass.
Literal grass.
Yeah.
Literal grass.
They're eating mushrooms. They're getting ripped. What do you guys think of Gavin and Oscar and Dylan in this episode?
I love that, like, the green wall, he's like, most likes ever, guys, 42.
Yes.
You're like, yes. I love the enthusiasm.
yes.
I will say I have eaten wild mushrooms, and it didn't go quite as well as the way Gavin's did.
Oh,
But,
God.
anyways, I also love that he had a gun in this episode. I was like, is that a BB gun? Is that a real shotgun?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because at the beginning of the series, I was like, what is the deal with the guinea pigs? Does he just like guinea pigs? Because I know I was telling you, like, Graham had guinea pigs in Angry Boys, and she was, like, obsessed with them. So I'm just like, maybe he just, like, throws it in there as something that he does. But I was like, where are we going with these guinea pigs?
I thought someone was going to get shot. I kept being, and then there was, like, some moments where he shot off into the, like, just, like, into the field. And I was like, oh, it's going to hit, like, the aunt or...
But it's so great.
But...
It's so great because, like, how hard would it be to shoot a guinea pig? Like, you're not going to shoot a guinea pig. And he's, like, so far away. It's, like, not happening.
And he's like sure that he got
Yeah.
it.
And last week we kind of talked about, I was like, what the heck is even a guinea pig?
Yeah.
And then I went home, and then, like, later that day I was looking on Instagram, and a friend of mine was at PetSmart buying her kids guinea pigs.
Aww.
And I was like, that's so funny.
Don't let Gavin get his hands on them. Yeah, so he's getting ripped with Oscar and Dylan. They're shooting guinea pigs because they're multiplying and they're going to take over. And one thing that I thought was hilarious during this entire episode was that they kept running away, and he couldn't run because they don't have the red car anymore. They got it taken away, and he can't run because he's in Crocs. So he's always complaining.
And he's really fat.
And he rips his ball sack on the fence.
Again, like he did in the first episode.
He's
Well,
just,
and they're on a hunger strike, and they have, like, all these snacks.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
What kind of a hunger strike?
And then they're like, she's going to notice we're hungry at some
Yeah.
point. And then she does. She brings them cake. Which
I know.
Helen, why? Why do you
I
pamper
know.
this
Stop being
boy?
so nice.
She's so nice. Like, I wish I could be like this woman. She is so nice.
She's all happy. Hey, I brought a cake. Okay. I wish I ran away from home a lot when I was a kid, but I would run like 2 blocks and just be there. My mom wouldn't. They just let me. Like,
Yeah.
I was just gonna come back. They didn't go after me with a cake. That would have been cool.
I also noticed, well, I wrote down that Gavin reminded me a lot in this episode of Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
Because when he was sitting up
That's
on the
so
tree,
funny.
And I was like, Humpty Dumpty, he's going to fall at any moment now.
Oh my God.
And then when he was yelling at Ingrid, and he said, I wrote it down. He said, "No chill at all, Ingrid. Give a kid a break. I'm trying to send nudes." And I was like, that's every DM from
Yes,
a guy.
right?
One sentence.
Absolutely.
I wrote that down because it's like every like weird terminology that like goes on today in like kids' vocabulary was like in those couple sentences. I was like, this is so epic.
Also, does anyone use the word whipped here? Because I was like, oh, is that an Australian term for being baked?
I think it is Australian.
Yeah.
I wrote it down as one of the Australian terms I heard.
Same.
What's another Australian term you've heard?
Whipped, piss week, use. They said use. Oh, in episode 8, use. Which other one? Quick smart. That's another one. Dick loads. Have a we think about that. But that might be English. I think Helen said that one.
I think dick loads is pretty common in the U.S. So
okay.
Dick loads, really?
This one I kind of don't want to say, but Joyce says this one a lot. Dead S-H-I-T.
She does say that one.
Yeah, quite a bit.
That's so funny. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I love Gavin, as everybody knows, because I say that every single episode, but he's just like continuing on his path of just being over the top and ridiculous, and I just love it.
Yes.
So
That's great. I also love that the cake came and he was like, okay, it's great.
Yeah.
Hunger strikes over.
Yes.
I would have done the same. I love cake.
So that's where we are with him in episode 7. Then we go to Becky, and Becky's doing a little bit better, like, I guess. So she has this like big dorm party she's about to go to. She's been hanging out with Lucy more because she's mad at Mary for the whole Lingers thing.
Yeah.
She's blowing up on YouTube. She has 25,000 subscribers, and she had one video that had over 100,000, so she's like an influencer now. A fan approaches her
Totally.
at the party.
Yeah, she's feeling pretty good about herself.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was curious about. I wanted them to tell us what the video was about. I wanted to know what video
what
went
crowd.
viral.
Yeah.
What DIY project was so cool that
What
people
video do you
spread
think
it?
would go viral for Becky, a DIY video? For dorm room DIY, right?
How to
Something
make a
with
shrine for
unicorns.
One Direction. I don't know. That would be my guess. DIY your own shrine for celebrity. I don't know.
That's so funny. Yeah, so she's doing well. So I was really happy for her because I love Becky.
Yeah, and that her and Lucy were hanging out more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're sisters, like
Yeah,
sister
so
time again.
Cute.
That's nice.
She's moving on from Lingers. I was happy. And
Until all hell breaks loose, because then it takes a turn for the worse. And I'm like, now I get you. And I'm like, Lucy is on my shit list right now. I'm sorry. Like, I'm done with Lucy.
Lucy, since the beginning, girl. What is going on? And then you just got worse. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Do you guys have sisters that are like similar age than
Yes,
you?
I do.
Oh, okay. Did you guys
Yeah.
ever have like?
Oh,
Because like
what?
me and my sister, like there were years in which we were really close, but then like in
Totally.
high school we were like just like hate you too.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I do have. It's me, and then my sister's 2.5 years younger than me. But I would still, even though we don't always get along, I would still always defend her no matter what.
Yeah.
If someone did something to her, I wouldn't just let her be abused or whatever, be made fun of. I would still, because I still care about her, and so that's a thing. That's what bothered me about Lucy. And then she was so mean to her.
She was really
Oh
mean,
my
yeah.
god.
Oh my gosh, it's kind of her. All her true feelings are coming out.
They
I felt.
are,
Yeah.
yeah. Because she talks about basically that she's been like holding her back her whole life. Becky's been holding Lucy back all this time. And she said they don't, the only reason you have all these subscribers is because they don't know that you're a freak with massive legs and you're so tall and everything about you is fake.
So
Because
mean.
online you put on this like
Persona.
person. Yeah.
And the other thing that bothers me too is I wouldn't be that bothered if she was hooking up with another guy. But Jack, why
Exactly.
Jack? Out of
I
all
know.
the guys in college,
After
why
he just
him?
pulled that move where he was like, want to be cuddle buddies or whatever,
Right,
and then
she was like, I hate Jack, and then 4 seconds later she's making out with him.
and snorting coke with
And
him.
snorting coke.
I'd have been like, first off, like Becky, like you're huge. You go in there and you just like whip her
kick,
ass.
just
like,
kick everyone.
Yeah, be like
Becky,
done.
You're huge. Just
She
Just
hasn't-
pick him up by his
yeah.
collar, throw Jack out the window, like. Oh my.
She hasn't found her giant strength yet.
No, she
Maybe
needs
next
to.
episode.
Oh, she could easily
So
kick
yeah, I'm pretty annoyed with Lucy at this point. And Lucy said that they're not going to be sisters anymore.
I know, and she's gonna move out. That's gonna be. I feel like that's really devastating.
Yeah.
If she moves into another room.
So yeah, I'm sad for Becky.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all we see of Becky this episode. Then we move to Keith, who is moving on up in my books. Like, he might take over my number one spot. Patika's getting rid of Karen because there was some footage she found of Keith having relations with Karen again.
Karen.
So he has to go get shock therapy.
Oh my god, that
Which-
scene. He was not getting aroused at all. But Tika's just like, okay, it's like no movement there and then he sees Karen's okay. and the pastor or whatever, he's like, usually we see some activity with the wife.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
I know, just like so awkward.
He's just more like turned off by her. Like,
How
okay,
weird was it that a pastor was conducting the
Yeah.
test? I would assume that it would probably be like a psychologist or something, but having like your local
Exactly.
pastor conduct that test is
maybe in
hilarious.
Australia it's
Well, like, no, like, I don't know, like, what the, like, it's funny because I used to be a therapist, but, like, I don't know, like, what the deal with, like, shock therapy is, if that's, like, a thing anymore, but, like, you know, like, priests do those, like,
The
therapies
weirder-
with, like, you try to, if you have, like, a certain sexuality, they'll try to, like,
Yeah.
get you to, like, not go, I
the
don't know.
gay
Yeah.
conversion.
Yes, exactly.
And I feel like a lot of people go to their church before seeing like an actual professional.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I don't know. So I don't know if they do shock therapy like
I
for
also
real or
thought
whatever.
at
but
first that it was gonna be like an actual like the shock was gonna be on his penis, and then it was like actual just like a
it was like
taser.
a taser, yeah, which is great. So you know what's also so funny about Keith this episode is like the whole place is like going down, and like he's all upset that he has to get rid of June, which is so funny because he was like kicked that one guy to like the curb, like no problem. He like couldn't wait to get him out, but like June is like a problem. She's like a staple in the store. Like
Yeah.
she can't be gone. He's all sad
I
about
know,
it.
it's kind of funny.
So like she's crying and like leaving and so he gets this idea, and as he gets the idea, he starts like running out of the store. He's like, June, don't go anywhere. It's like, thank God June is safe.
I know they
Yes.
needed like the Rocky music right
Yeah.
there. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do this, and you know it's great.
So it's so funny because at the beginning I was also like, why are we always seeing him yelling at these skateboarder kids? Like, what is the deal with it? And turns out they do come back into this because he pulls them inside and he dresses the one kid. And basically his idea is he's going to have like this big fashion parade and they're going to be the models. And he's going to
Yes.
dress them in all the Keith by Keith Dick outfits. What do you guys think about this idea?
Abercrombie and Dick. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking
I love
when he
that.
saw him. He's like, maybe I'll put him outside of my store.
Yeah.
Okay. But
I think it's a good idea.
I do too.
I hope it goes over well.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know the
at
you
least
know,
like,
amount of people that live
even
in the
though
town.
Keith is kind of a jerk, it would be kind of nice for one thing to go well for him. Just one thing, because everything else kind of no.
Yeah, I think it's such a great idea because, like, who is he going to dress in his line? Like, Marilyn and June, like, and
Right.
put them out, like, strutting their stuff on the runway in that weird outfit that he made?
He needs to appeal to the younger people as well.
Also, what is that outfit? Like, it had a big, weird, like, white thing. It's like, it looks like somebody's, like, pregnant, growing belly
Yeah.
is supposed
I don't
to
know, but
go
it was
on
so
there.
weird that I feel like it's like. But that's the thing. If you watch like real runway
Yes.
shows of like super high end
Totally.
fashion people, it's like the most bizarre outfit.
Yeah.
I see those.
You're gonna wear this, and then you're gonna have like a parrot on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With flames coming
Yeah.
out of your neck.
If you wouldn't
or-
actually wear that in real life.
Yeah, but when he like tied a bow around it and then like put the sandals on and the kid was holding the skateboard, I was like,
Okay,
yeah, this is fine.
Looks like
Let's do
total,
it.
Like grunge. like,
It's funny because that style is kind of reminiscent to like a very like silver like Echo Park like hipster style right there. So it's
Yeah.
just like seeing that like because I live around that neighborhood, so seeing that outfit, I'm just like, okay, that's just like a typical thing in my book.
So he
it's
needs
not
to
that
open a
weird.
store in Silver Lake.
Totally.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so I'm all about this. I can't wait. I want to see how this fashion parade goes.
Yeah, me too.
So that's about all we have for Keith this episode. And then we see Joyce. And I love Joyce. She's gone off the deep end because Reese has sold the bear for $18,000.
Well, and we predicted this last week.
Yeah.
You know,
What
that
do you- I
it
don't
was a
know.
collector's item.
Yeah, I did not guess that because I literally thought like he was trying to get in her good graces,
Yeah,
so he
me
was gonna buy it and
too.
like win her over like by building a museum of all of her stuff or something. So I was totally thrown off. I was like, this a-hole, like screw you. And she lost it. She gets her whiteboard out and she's like, I do
Don't
not love
love
you on the whiteboard because you have to see it in writing.
Yes.
And then like there's this weird part where she's like, this like producer that she worked with on porn stuff like reaches out to her because he wants to do like a gilf or whatever.
Granny said like to
Yeah.
F.
Like Paige, and he wants her on it. So she does this like really weird. First off, she's like saying the whole time like this guy's a creep, like I'm not doing this. But then she's doing the audition tape with the mailman, and it's like so awkward.
So awkward. And then the mailman is like really aroused.
Well, the mailman like loves her, yeah. So he's like into it. She's like so awkward.
He just immediately is like, please grab my dick.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
And then she's like bothered by it. She needs to go back under the house where she goes to cool down, which I thought was hilarious.
The redneck air conditioning.
Like, I don't know where he comes up with all the things for Joyce, because like everybody has like weird things, but like Joyce's is like beyond, like with the whiteboard and like going under the house and just like everything. I'm just like amazed.
The
like,
whiteboard is like so interesting.
so
It's,
interesting.
Like, I never would have thought that.
Yeah. Like you can think of the weirdest things, but the whiteboard is just weird. And like, so now where we end off with episode 7 is she's going to be evicted. So she's like freaking out and trying to call Les and saying like, I need your help. Please answer. Please pick up. And I'm just like feeling super bad for Joyce at this point. Poor Joyce.
Well, before we move on to the next episode,
Poor Joyce.
I have a favor to ask all of you guys that are watching. But thank you guys also for making us the ESPN of Talk TV. But we need a favor from you to help us continue to grow. So if you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and hit that little subscribe button as well. And if you're on iTunes, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating. Also, leave us a comment wherever you're watching or listening, because we love to read your comments and have you guys be part of the conversation. Being part of AfterBuzz TV for me has been such a joy over the last 2 years and has helped me get all kinds of other great assignments on TV and travel. So I've loved it so much, and I appreciate all you guys that watch and listen. And don't forget to tell your friends and share all the favorite episodes that you have. So thanks so much. Keep watching our shows.
Yes, we need 25,000 subscribers on our
Becky beat
on our
I know we can't have Craftaholics
Lunatics.
be better than
Yes,
us.
I know. We want to do like a collaborations with Becky, and so we need to get up there in views.
Look our way unless we
I
have 20K.
I need to go to like Butterfield University or whatever it's called and find her at a party.
Lingers, we're coming for you.
Yeah, Lingers is also
Lingers
on my shit
and
list.
Lucy. Okay,
Yeah.
if you have a name
Elma.
that starts with an L, we're coming for you. Okay.
So episode 8, we start with Jana because she was missing from last episode.
I just looked at our screen in here and
Oh my lord. Actually, I was going to ask you guys this. Like, if you were an assistant to somebody, like, no matter how big, like, I love LeBron, okay? So, like, I think, like, but I guess this would be a different situation. But, like, if you were, like, your biggest, like, most,
Female.
like, star or whatever, your biggest idol, you were, like, their assistant, like, would you do something as insane as Kylie has to do for Jana this episode?
No.
I don't think so.
I
'Cause
couldn't do it. I'd be like,
even-
peace.
Even with the like bedtime ritual,
Oh my
it's
gosh,
like
I
she
know.
really, I mean, it's like, it's insane the things she has to do.
Yeah, so Jana is like, she's, so fed up with Kylie's fiance. She's making fun of, not really making fun of him, but she's like talking trash on him. She's like, he's between jobs, he's gained all this weight, I can't stand him. And then she's yelling at him for the way that he's petting Victor, because that's not how you pet a male dog. She's like asking Kylie to like miss her
Wedding rehearsal.
wedding rehearsal to go on this like
Freaking
on-call
Jana's
like
so messed up.
yeah.
Excuse me.
And now she has to
And I was proud of Kylie at first for standing up to her.
Yeah.
But then when she
Yeah.
turned around, I thought, Kylie, why?
Yeah.
Why do let her win? Just, I don't know, drop her off the side of the road, or
I know.
you
I
get
was like,
off.
oh, she's gonna get out, but
Yeah,
she
maybe
didn't.
stop, get off, and tell her, you know what? Why don't you drive there?
Yeah.
And I'll go to my wedding rehearsal. I mean,
I thought this was
She
where
could've
they
done
were
that.
like done. I
Me
thought there was
too.
going to be a huge falling out
Too.
here.
And then Kylie was like, never mind, fine, I'll do what you want.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know that you can do this in the U.S., but can you really order sperm and get it in the mail?
I have no idea.
yeah.
But the sperm
I
came
should
in the
have looked
mail.
that up.
Yeah.
Oh my
It came in the
gosh.
mail,
I'll
just
find
like
out
it was
for next
nothing.
week.
So weird. weird.
Because Jana's a woman of her word, and she said she was going to get pregnant, so she ordered the sperm from like a Danish basketball player. So
Oh my gosh. Do we
she's
think
ready
it's
to
gonna
go.
work?
Believe it or not, self-insemination is actually pretty common, but it's not used with a turkey baster. It's actually used with one of those needleless syringes that you'd use for like oral medication and stuff. So that is a very interesting fun fact for that.
Oh,
Oh my
cringe.
gosh. Thank you for that fun fact.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's okay. Oh.
So
yeah.
for all you ladies out there that are looking for a baby and don't want the love to go along with it.
Oh my god, why would you want that? Honestly, it was so funny when Jana was with the other couple with the hippo,
Yeah.
and she said, either euthanasia or hire me for 10 sessions.
I know.
Either or.
Well, also because we talked about how hippos, you can actually own them.
Yeah,
last
I
week,
was
and
thinking
like,
about
oh my
that.
God, so funny that it's a hippo.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So
Oh my
that's why
gosh.
sometimes I think, Jana's not always thinking about the animals. He's just trying to make extra money. Like,
Yeah.
why go so drastic?
Yeah.
Euthanasia or hire me for 10 sessions.
Well,
Come on.
especially when Kylie was like, I don't believe Victor can
Yes.
predict the future, and I don't believe that there's anything telepathic.
I know. Actually, there's so many weird things that are happening, like, because we have Lucy, like, speak her mind for real to Becky, and now we have Kylie doing it to Jana, and I was just like, how do you even come back from that? Like, the stuff that Kylie says to Jana, because, like, you don't even believe in, like, what they're doing, so...
Yeah.
I don't know,
But I feel like that's like, I mean, that's so true. I feel like of so many people
Yeah.
that like have jobs and they like don't believe in either
Yeah.
what they sell or who they're working
Totally.
for, or
yeah.
you know.
So, lastly, with Jana, she has this like wildlife viewing box, and she wants to go to Zimbabwe, and she wants Kylie to come and be in the box when she's like looking for Natasha, she calls her, because she thinks that they found her, based on this like really bad video where they think that they can see the earring in her left ear. They're like, oh yeah, I see it.
Well, yes, and it has a door that like could be open,
Yeah.
but, as Kylie points out. But couldn't a lion get in?
But like, mind you, how do you get it out there? And then like also like, how do you get in it and how do you get out of it? Like,
To wait
is there
to get
cell
picked
phone
up.
reception out there and you're just like, hey, come pick me up? Like, I'm in the box with
Well,
Arvar.
I've actually seen, I don't remember what TV show it is. I'll have to look it up and tell you guys next week. But there was actually a guy that did this on a
Oh,
TV
no
show on,
way.
like, I don't know, Travel and whatever, Travel
Yeah.
Channel or something. He got in one of these boxes and just, like, went out there. They had, like, a couple of park rangers drop him off, like, in the middle of the
Oh, my
I don't know,
gosh.
Serengeti or something. And the lions come and they try to get in the box,
No
but they can't
way.
get in.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's definitely, like, the guy was scared. Because the lions can smell you
Dang.
through the little vent
Wait,
holes.
was the guy scared?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that's
but it was
insane.
some great video.
That would be so cool. Okay, so that might be like a once in a lifetime experience then. So that's where that's where we end with Jana, and then we're on to Quentin, and he is like on one this episode too. He's so epic this episode. He's DJing. We see him at the beginning DJing at an auction. He's like, "Happy auction day, everybody! Good luck today." And he's like DJing and just like being ridiculous.
I love that scene, especially when the other guy tells him to kind of
Yeah.
turn it down.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, and then at the end of the auction, they're just like, he's just like, all right, guys, I don't have time for this, so
Yeah.
bye. And
So we're not
like,
doing it.
So it's gonna be over, and no one's gonna get the house. So.
But you can email me, but it will be like, I won't, like, email me on Monday or something, because, like, I don't have
I'm
time.
busy.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he's supposed to be making all this money back for, like, the condos that he's trying to sell.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, the family's literally, like, going out of, like, they're gonna, like, have to sell their home. Like, the parents are so nice. The parents are about to sell their home and move in with the
What
grandparents
The frick?
because they're gonna get sued for all that work that he never paid for.
Right.
And
They still are so supportive and
they
like,
are.
Despite everything, I'm just like, what? Why?
Parents out there,
Why?
you should
What
say
is
no
going
sometimes
on?
to your
Yeah,
kids.
your kid's not perfect.
It's-
Especially when you are gonna have to sell your house because of them.
He has, like, all these
Okay.
ridiculous ideas, too, about being a DJ. You know, like, he's gonna get, like, 20,000, you know, per view,
He
per
wants to be
whatever.
Australia's best real estate DJ. That's what
Yeah.
He's gonna put like the like
Niche
binky in his
market.
mouth.
Oh,
They
yeah.
call it dummy and whatever.
And
They're tossing Aussie-based food at people in the audience.
Yeah, the Tim
Oh,
Tams.
right. Oh, my God.
Oh, I love
Yes.
Tim Tams. Have you ever had
Yes,
Tim Tams?
I've
Oh,
had them. They're
if somebody was
pretty
throwing Tim
good.
Tams at me though, see, this is why I love Quentin. I might be Quentin's friend. Like, please throw Tim Tams
And
at me.
the one thing I like about Harrison is you know, we were talking about how his whole family's very supportive no matter what.
Yes.
But Harrison is the only one that kind of calls him out when he's being stupid. He's, you know, so thank you, Harrison, for kind of being the voice of reason.
It's funny that you said earlier that everyone's kind of speaking their mind, because Harrison in this episode spoke his mind way more than usual. And
Yes.
was like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Please don't wear that. Like, that's embarrassing.
And then Quentin puts him in his place, and he's like, you know, you're talking to your boss. Like, you can't talk to your boss like this, but...
DJ, and then his DJ name, DJ.
And then he kind of makes like a music video / like
I love the
video
music video.
entry.
Oh, yes. It's epic.
It was great.
And then you come to find out, like, the entire time, Quentin's not actually doing anything on the, like, deck. Like, he's just, like, acting, and Harrison's just standing next to him on an iPad, like, doing all the, like, DJing for him.
Okay, one of my favorite parts, though, was the animal noises that he made. Because I was like, oh, I like those. Those sound good, the animal noises.
So basically, Quentin is kind of like the Milli Vanilli of DJing in a way, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of lip syncing, but
Yeah.
faking. So
Well, yeah, because Harrison tries to dissuade him from having any vocals. He's like, you really
Yes.
shouldn't do the vocals.
He's like, that's my thing.
but he inspired me. I think I want to just like, you know, just put on any random beat and see if I can, you know, spit some rhymes and make my own song, you know. So thank you.
Gosh. And then one of my favorite parts, though, was at the end of his, like, scenes where he's practicing and he's throwing food at his, like, parents and siblings. And he, like, hits his mom in the face with, like, some type of, like, cake or something. And his dad's like, give it all you got, son. It's like, we get the idea, like, you don't need to throw the food, but he just, like, decks his mom. It's
His
oh my
dad also
God.
said that, like, he's like, well, you know, Q's, he's not really smart enough to understand that we're broke, but...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's so funny that
so
you say that,
great.
because then they try to talk to him about it, and he's like, yeah, this guy's such a prick, this and this, and his brother, like, gives a really easy explanation. His brother's like, yeah, well, basically, like, the guy did a bunch of work and you never paid him, so you're actually the prick. He's like, oh yeah. It's like...
Well, I think we all know people like that.
Yeah. But I love Quentin, so he was pretty fun this episode.
I guess we should have known Quentin was slow from, I think, the first episode when they made a joke about in your genes or something. Oh, it's in our genes, and he's the only one that doesn't get it. What?
Right.
Like, oh, okay. So.
Oh, I love him. So then we move back to Joyce, and they're coming tomorrow to kick Joyce out officially. And so, you know, Rhonda's there, like, trying to get her to tell all the things that she wants to keep.
Yeah.
But Joyce is just losing it. And she's like, Les is coming, and he's going to take the collection to his place. He's a collector, too. He has a shed for all of our stuff. She's, like, gone off the deep end, though, for real. Like they said last episode, she's, like, breastfeeding this, like, monkey. She's switching the mailboxes. She's putting up the wallpaper, like, the day...
Right, the day of
the day
eviction.
they're... Yes.
I
I've
mean,
been
this
meaning to
was
put
like-
this up.
This was like, if you watch that show Hoarders, like,
Yeah.
this is actually what people do.
You know what? It's so funny
know?
because, like, in, like, the anti-hoarder, I get rid of, like, everything. And, like, so I've always been like, why do people do this? And then when I saw Joyce, like, so upset when they came into her house and they started taking everything, I actually felt so bad.
Yeah, it was so sad.
I know.
And then just seeing her upset and Rhonda upset.
I know.
Just, that's what, you know, that's what
Right in the middle of her
happens. That's what
performance
people
with her dad.
Yeah, and then there's a
And then they unplug the
juxtaposition with the
TV.
song, because the song was saying something about it's the end of the world. That was like the
Aw.
lyric in the song.
Yeah.
And then they're taking her stuff, so it's kind of the end of her world. You know, that's because I collect too, so for me, that's what it would feel like if somebody came and started taking my stuff. So I thought that was kind of an interesting choice to kind of have that song playing
Yeah.
while that's happening.
I was so sad.
And then we get to find out
Someone is real.
I know. So then Les literally comes at the last minute and saves the day, because we haven't heard from Les the entire, like, season.
Right.
And they're literally packing her stuff up onto this truck and just, like, I guess gonna take it away. And Les rolls up in his
Out of nowhere.
huge semi. Oh my
saves the day. I was like,
gosh.
oh my god, he exists.
I was literally so happy for this
Me
moment
too.
because, like, Chris Lilley's so funny. You can't have these sad moments. Like, I'm trying to watch a comedy. Like, don't make me upset. I was so sad for Joyce, and when he pulled up, I was like, yes,
Yeah.
Les.
Well, and even Rhonda was like, oh my god, he's real.
I know.
Why do you think I make him up? Do you think I'm crazy?
Yes, I love that. When she's like,
I'm sure we all had Rhonda's expression. It was just like, wait a minute, you're real?
oh yeah, for sure. She was definitely like speaking exactly what I was thinking, and it was so funny. Yeah, when Joyce said like, "What did you think I was insane?"
Yeah.
I was like,
I
"Yes."
think everyone
definitely.
watching probably thought that.
Oh my gosh, I was so
Aw, so
happy.
happy,
I'm so happy. Like
yes.
Les showed up, and he's like, "We're gonna move this on my truck," and
Mhm.
he's like all about the same stuff she is too. He's like, "It's very valuable."
Mhm.
So
He's her
Les
hero.
has
Thank
come
you.
to save the day.
I love you,
Come
Les.
to the rescue.
He's the only person that starts with an L name that
That
I
we
don't
won't
want to
beat up.
punch. So we want to love less.
Yes.
Oh, so happy.
So I was, yeah, really good ending for this episode with Joyce. And then we're back with Gavin, and these people are coming for tours, and he has to do his like,
No
I don't-
presentation
yeah.
or something.
yeah. So he's gonna try to do this stunt where he's gonna get in the red car and jump this like little duck pond that's turned into just like a pile of like not a pile of mud, but like a mud pit. And Dylan's gonna be in there with the pigs, and he's just gonna go right over top
I
of
just
them.
was thinking when he was explaining that, I was like, oh god, this is like Dylan's gonna get decapitated, like something really terrible is gonna happen.
Oh my gosh.
And Helen again trusting. Why would you trust? Oh, he's doing
Yes.
a surprise thing for
I
us.
know.
No, girl, you need to find out what he's doing.
I know.
She gives him so. She's just like, it's just nonstop chances.
I wish I was like this calm of a person that I could just be like, oh, come on, love, it's okay. You know, like forgiving
That's
him
why
for
you ha-
everything and just like trusting that he's going to be
No,
okay.
but that's not good because then your kid is gonna be crazy and not have any boundaries and not,
That's true, but you
yeah.
personally won't be bothered because you're like,
Oh,
oh,
that's
it's
true.
okay,
So you'll
love.
feel good, but your kid will be
exactly.
screwed
I think she
Totally.
found the real grass on the
Yeah.
ground.
Oh, yeah.
Smoking that every day.
Seriously.
I kind of thought Dylan might die.
Oh
at
my
one
God,
point.
yes.
I did too.
So this
Because
is
this
another
might-
part, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wow, this might be the first time Chris Lilley killed a.
Well, it's so funny because last week when we were talking, I thought Keith was gonna kill the woman in the dressing room with the
Oh,
with the
yeah.
with the purse around her neck as a choker, and then this episode I was like, oh shoot, Dylan's gonna die in this mud pit like while the guests are here for sure. That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Well, at least Gavin was decent enough to save him. I thought maybe he might just leave him or something.
Yeah, I love.
wouldn't put him past him to do that.
How did you think he was gonna get him out there? Like, did you think the drone technique was gonna work, where he's gonna pull
I
him
thought
out
he
by
was
the
gonna
drone?
have to get somebody to help.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, the drone would not work.
Yeah,
Oh my
that thing can't
gosh.
pull anything.
Yeah.
So he tries with the drone, he tries with the pig. Eventually, he pulls him out, and I mean, he gets out, and they decide they're not going to go with that. So he has this other presentation that he's going to do. What did you think of
The
his
slip and
presentation?
slide,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
like
probably
slip and
what I
slides.
would have done. Slip
Yeah,
and slide.
totally. Welcome to Gators. Like, go down the slip
Yeah,
and
at least
slide,
No one got hurt,
dab at the end of
so-
it, and then just like, what did he say? Dope AF.
Yeah.
Of course, that's his line. So that's so him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that came out of nowhere.
I
He's
know.
just
That
got
was
Dylan's
surprising.
mouth. I'm gonna be the new Earl of Gators.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Even
he'll be out
even
there.
though even though I'm a bit of a weirdo, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't be. What does he say? I shouldn't be, the Earl of Gayhurst.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I thought that was another nice message at the end of this.
And
Yeah.
especially nicer that Dylan then performs
Oh
Gavin's
yeah,
song.
my
song.
God.
If you wanna F, then F.
And I love that all the adults are just like, all right.
And then the
Okay.
dick drone
Very
goes up
nice.
again, and they're
Yes.
just like,
F
okay.
it's a dick.
Oh my God. I
It was
mean,
a
like,
great ending.
Mhm.
it is a great ending. Why do I never have these experiences happen in my own life? Like, I would give anything to be there while this is going on. So that's where we ended. So we have two like kind of good endings. So like we were talking about, it is kind of like coming to an end, and we're seeing like things wrap up. So I'm curious because next week we're going to cover episodes 9 and 10. So the finale. I'm curious to see how this turns out. So we're already starting to see that a little bit.
Yeah, me too. I'm wondering if Gavin learns anything that he takes home
Yes.
back to Australia.
So we're gonna do news and we're gonna do memes, but then let's do predictions and see what we
Yes,
think,
let's-
how we think
'cause I
everything's
have
gonna
a
turn
couple.
out. Okay.
Yeah.
So first, hit us with the
Hit
news.
us with the news. Okay, so you're gonna have to remind me of the guy's name because I already forgot it. There's a great podcast if you guys want to get some Chris Lilley, hear him talk. He was interviewed recently on
Theo Vaughn's podcast.
And it's really interesting. It's a little over an hour, so if you have time, definitely check it out. But he talks to Chris about like casting and directing and a lot of the characters, and you get to actually hear what Chris Lilley's like in person. And he's not anything like these characters that you see on TV. He's very soft-spoken and yeah, it's great to get to know him a little bit better. I don't know. I know you listened to a bit of it as well, so I don't know what your thoughts on it, but I really enjoyed hearing about, just how different he is than these characters
that's so
that you see on
interesting.
TV.
I could definitely relate to him when he was talking about how he likes being, in his own shows where he, he's the writer, director, actor, because he has more control. He doesn't really want to be in other people's films because I'm kind of like that too sometimes. And people ask him, "Oh, you should act," and he says, "Well, I play like 60 different characters. Why are you saying I don't act?" And they say, "No, we mean act in other people's films," but he just doesn't. He prefers having more control over what he's working on.
Well, yeah, and one of the things I thought really interesting too was like with the casting, he was saying that a lot of the people they just find like on the street or like they go to schools, like shopping malls.
And that's so interesting because like I always say this, like I watch a lot of comedies because I don't watch anything other than reality and comedies, but like everybody in all of his shows is so serious. Like they never break character. They're so good. Like I just rewatch it because like even when Joyce was like out front yelling at Reese, I'm like, how is Rhonda not laughing right now? Because she's just like going off, and I'm like, it's so funny, but like they both are so good at like not even a smile on their face. Because like even like other comedies, you'll see people like crack a little bit of a smile. You're like, okay, they were laughing, but like these guys are so good.
Well, he did say that with Dylan, there was a lot of moments where like Dylan would just like, because Dylan was always laughing at Chris, so they would just have to be like, okay. And
That's
He
awesome.
would start saying the C word a lot.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
got
God.
really into character.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I gotta listen to that. That's great.
But yeah, so check that out if you guys want to listen to a little bit of
It's very
Chris
rare
Lilley.
for Chris to do interviews, so
Yes.
Dang.
are the top 3 or
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have
We even kind of
Special segment.
special segment for
Yes.
tonight's episode. So tell us about what we're doing tonight.
today's top 3 is basically for each of us. We're gonna talk about when a Lunatics character was our spirit animal.
Like from the whole season.
Yes, from the whole season.
Okay.
So a moment that you thought they were
Okay, so
representing.
I have one actually just from this episode, and I feel like this is gonna be like really strange, but so if any of you out there have ever been dating a person that you're just not really into at all, I felt like my spirit animal in this episode was definitely Keith Dick when he had the shock thing on his dick looking at his wife
Oh, shoot.
with certain people, and so that's my one for today.
So for me, it was I think a couple episodes ago when Quentyn was being a street artist, because that's something I've kind of wanted to do too secretly, but I'm so scared of getting caught because I've thought about that too. Like, oh my gosh, if you get big, you can make so much money, and you're always thinking about ways to make money.
So basically, if she's
So-
not here next week, she got arrested for street
I
art.
it would, and I just thought, oh, you can put random stuff together and call it art, blah blah blah. So, I kind of lived through Quentyn. But
Yes.
Love that.
That's so funny because mine is also Quentin, and it's just kind of like the whole season. Because so I'm like a stay-at-home mom now, and I have worked my whole entire life since I was like 15 years old, and like at the last 10 years I've been doing sales. So it's like constant like process. You're like always working a million hours, always on the phone, doing things, hustling. And when I became a stay-at-home mom, I was just like sitting at home, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? So like I'm constantly always thinking of things to do. So I feel like Quentin is my spirit animal in this series because like he's like becoming a street artist, and that's not gonna work. So he's gonna become like DJ, and he's like singing and all this stuff. So I'm just like, I'm at home like writing web pages, and now I'm here talking about Lunatics. So I'm like always trying to find something. So maybe I just need to start DJing and like throwing food into the audience. I don't know. But Quentin is my spirit animal. So
I love that.
and then like my favorite segment. This is literally like I love seeing all your memes. So we have
Yeah.
your memes from the show.
Awesome meme time. So excited.
Oh my god.
So this one is F-boy. He's broke, has a record, cheats on every girlfriend ever, and me is Jana on the
Oh
floor
my
with her legs
God.
spread open. So
Oh my god.
hopefully that's not a lot
That's
of
somebody's
us.
spirit animal out
Yes,
there.
that's,
That whole meme.
that's real friendship right there, guys.
Because when you see someone breastfeeding in public and you don't know where to look, and it's Keith looking at Patika. Like no arousal at all.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Oh my god.
Oh
And this
yes,
one's-
I love
Your
these.
birth month is your Lunatics character. So
Oh.
what are
Oh
your
my
birth
god.
I'm
months?
Joyce.
Mine's Karen.
Oh,
Wait, what's your
nice.
month? What's your month?
July. Oh my god.
I'm February,
February.
so I'm Joyce.
So
What are you?
so you're Joyce. Okay. I'm January, so I'm Natasha the artwork.
I love that. And
And
it's the month of May right now, so Keith Dick, if you're
If
So
you're-
in
we're
yeah.
in Keith Dick month
You're
right now.
lucky if you're born in May. Yes.
Yes.
Alex,
Like,
which one?
I'm in
you three have
July.
something funny. I got Rhonda, which is in a sense she's the voice of reason, so I kind of relate to that. So it's
Yeah.
pretty
Oh,
cool.
I love
okay.
Rhonda.
And
Yes. I'm yeah, that's great. I love those.
I
Those are
love Joyce, so
hilarious.
I'm happy. I know, I love
good thing
these ones.
nobody was lingers, 'cause
No.
I might have to punch you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Was
just kidding.
Lingers on there? I didn't even
Yeah,
see.
in
Oh,
November.
jeez. Oh,
So if you're November,
my daughter's
sorry.
Lingers. That's not a good thing.
No.
So, okay, actually, really quick before we go, can we do predictions? Because we
Yes.
haven't done this all season,
Your
but I want to
AfterBuzz
do
TV
predictions for these last 2 episodes because we are wrapping everything up. And seeing Chris Lilley's other shows, like, I like the way that he wraps things up in other series. So I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what I thought was going to happen, but go ahead, tell me what you guys think.
Okay, so I guess my predictions are I think Gavin's going to go back to Australia and I think he's going to actually like have taken something away from like something positive, I feel like. Home with him. Maybe he'll stop eating moldy candy. I think Joyce is going to move in with Reese and maybe in their trailer.
Oh,
Les?
I hope so.
I mean,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
thank you. And then what else? And then I think that Becky is, I feel like she's going to have a sad ending.
Oh, I hope not.
So-
I love Becky.
Mm-hmm. Well, for Becky, I hope she becomes an even bigger influencer and becomes so famous and rich that she's gonna forget about everyone else and she can flip Jack off and oh, that's
I know that was really weird, but I got you.
Anyway, and Joyce, I hope she marries Les and they have a nice happy ending and she can keep all her stuff. And Jana, I kind of want her, and I hope that her and Kylie just part ways.
I agree.
You know,
I
just
hope
that
maybe
too.
you can be friends but not work together. That way
Yes.
they can just be happy separately. She can get reunited with Natasha. Kylie can marry Craig. They can both have their babies, but just be friends but not actually work together. Quentyn, I would like for him to become a famous DJ because that would be interesting to see. And I think that's about it for my predictions.
So I've seen it. I don't know if this is what happens or not. I'm not going to spoil it. But when I was thinking about what was going to happen, I thought this was going to be like an Angry Boys ending where everybody, this is what I was hoping for, and this may or may not happen, where everybody somehow ties together at the end and they like all come together. Do you remember at the end of Angry Boys? Okay, I don't know if you saw Angry Boys, but basically at the end, like they somehow are all like tied together, like all of his characters. So I am hoping that's what happens
That would be cool.
at the end of the season, but I don't know how he's going to do that
Yeah.
because I just don't know. So
Well, I mean, maybe Becky has to, with her craftaholic, buy some things from the museum or.
It'd be cool if Becky bought some stuff from Joyce and then kind of made something for Joyce with her own stuff or something like
and then
that.
Keith reached out to her as an influencer to wear his clothes on her show.
Yes. And then at the fashion show, Quentyn is the DJ.
Yes.
And
See,
then
this
maybe
could
Gavin
happen.
can be there as an influencer too, kind of minor one, dancing.
Because he's the 5th best Instagram in his school. So
That's right. Either
I
that
don't
or they
know.
all end up in a therapy session together.
That's a good idea because they are lunatics.
That's right.
So that is wrapping up these 2 episodes. We will be back next week with the finale. So before we go, guys, tell everybody where they can find you at.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Alice L. Ford or on YouTube at Alice's Adventures, and same on Instagram.
You can find me on Instagram at morethanyouthinkseven.
And I'm Jessie Zahner. You can find me all over social media at Athletic. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.